is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our program Learn Arabic. I think that we discussed before the characteristics of writing in Arabic language and also the characteristics of pronunciation in Arabic. And also we reviewed how can we find the differences between Arabic and English. Also we can find a lot of that in the following episodes. Today, actually, in such episode, I would like to start with the first alphabet in Arabic, which is Alif. And when we produce this sound, I think it's very close to the vowel in English, A.
Yes.
Well, I said now it's Alif.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pronounced as A.
Yeah. Yes.
That means that we have difference between the alphabet as a letter and the pronunciation of the letter. Okay. Now, in Arabic writing system generally, because today, in such episode, we are going to discuss how can we write the alphabet.
Yeah.
And also how can we produce this alphabet phonetically. How can we pronounce that? Okay. So the first alphabet is Alif,
Alif.
which is A. And I think that is here. Let me just move on here to the slides. The name is Alif. A as a phonetic transcription, similar to the English alphabet A in apple. And now it's mentioned here, initial positions, middle positions, and final positions. Yep. Here we have the variations of this alphabet. I think that Osama, in the last episode, you asked me, Osama, a question about, do we have variations of the vowels in Arabic? Oh, yes, of course, we have that. And if we just have variations of the vowel in Arabic, that means that we will have different accents, different dialects. Why? Because we have actually variations of the vowel. But it's not the same in consonants, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the alphabet A is pronounced in the Gulf area, for example, as A.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
But here, for example, in Egypt or in North African countries, it's pronounced as A.
And
And of course, well, I still remember that in English, in the phonetic system in English, we do have A and A. I guess that A is produced by the back part of the tongue, but A is a frontal sound. But anyway, this is not my point here. My focus will be heavily on Arabic, not in English. How can we pronounce it?
yeah.
Does anybody here have any idea about how can we pronounce this sound? Osama?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, just as we know,
Yep.
in linguistics we have three characteristics that or through or by which we can describe a certain sound. For example, as we have here in the slides, we have the state of voicing, whether the vocal cords are in vibration state or are not in vibration state.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, we have also the place of articulation, the point of articulation, or what we may say in the Arabic, makhraj al-harf.
Yep, that's true.
And then we have the manner of pronouncing this, whether there is friction, whether there is or is obstruction to the airstream in that is getting out from our lungs.
Yep. I think
And
this
that's
is
why,
I think, Osama, here is a very important point. When it comes to the pronouncing of such letter, I said before it's very close to the vowel in English A.
Yeah.
And let me just have a look at this. When we have the state of voicing, the position of the tongue, the height of the tongue, I would like we have here a diagram for the oral speech system. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
If you would like to produce the sound, we have to focus more attention on three important elements. Okay. The first one here is the state of the voicing. Here is it.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, state of the voicing here means that at our larynx, you can find two vocal flaps.
Yeah.
And the air stream, well, actually, the air stream is the major point in producing any sound.
Yeah.
We cannot actually produce any sound until we have air stream coming out from the lungs.
Yeah.
Okay. So the air stream is coming up from the lungs, and it passes through the vocal flaps. Here is it. Here is my point. Can you see that? Here in this part.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we say ah, can you put your hand here at your Adam's apple?
Yeah.
And say
Yeah.
ah. How do you feel it?
So I find that there is a vibration here.
Exactly. This is the main
here,
point for me.
from
Yep.
here.
طبعا. Well, it's actually here. طبعا. Can you see that? Ah. Well, here probably you can find the esophagus, something like that. But
Yeah.
here, if you put your hand, you just put your hand here. So you can
Yeah.
find vibration. But
Yeah.
that means that this sound is a voiced sound, which means that the airstream which coming up from the lungs touches the alveolar, the vocal flaps here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, Ahmed,
Yeah, listen.
I think that here the nasal cavity
Yep.
obstructs or closes so that the airstream comes out from the mouth.
Yep. I think you are absolutely correct, Osam. Can you see that? This is the nasal cavity. This is the oral cavity here,
Yeah.
which is here. Can you see that? Now, the airstream is coming up from the lungs, and the first step here, it touches the vocal flaps.
Yes.
So we have vibration in producing the sound.
Yeah.
But after that, okay. Now the airstream is coming up through the pharynx here. You know what the pharynx? It's something like a channel that
Yeah.
carried the food, the airstream, everything. Okay. And the airstream is coming up here in the pharynx. And what's happening is that we have two important parts in the oral speech system. The first one is the nasal cavity, which is probably related to the nose.
Yeah.
And the second one, which is the mouth. If the airstream in Arabic, in producing any Arabic letter, if we produce any letter and the airstream is coming up from the mouth, it's described as oral.
Oral, yeah.
Right.
It's oral.
But if the airstream is coming out from the nose,
So it is nasal.
it's nasal sound. Excellent, Osam. Well, can we find something like that in English or in European languages generally?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
We have.
I think in English we do have nasals or nasal sounds.
Yeah.
We have ma, na, ing.
Yes.
Yep.
As in going, for example.
Exactly, Hussein.
Or writing.
Right. Okay. Can we find that in Arabic?
Well, actually, I
Yep.
think we don't have nasal
Yep.
sounds in Arabic.
Yep. So
There is
here
no
I-
such sounds, yeah.
Okay. I can tell you here a very important note. In Arabic, we do have also nasal sounds.
Yeah.
We have meme, ma.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
noon, noon,
Yeah.
na. But we don't have ing, as we have in
Yeah,
English,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
is writing, stuff like that. But anyway, so if you would like to classify any sound in Arabic, you have to pay your attention to whether it's oral sound coming up from the mouth or it's a nasal sound. Can you see that? Okay. Now let's move on here to the following step. Position of the tongue. Well, the airstream which is coming up from the lungs, what's happening is that it's not actually coming through the nasal cavity. It's coming through the oral cavity. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And what's happening here is that this sound is produced by the position of the tongue, which is front.
Yeah.
Can you pronounce this sound again? Ah.
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 But how about if you can say ah?
Oh.
Do you feel difference in the position of the tongue?
Yeah.
Yep. Tell me some, please.
I think that in A,
Yep.
the position of the tongue is front.
It's front.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but in A, I
Yep.
think it is back.
It's back.
more back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This is my point. I think that's very important to know how can we produce the sound perfectly. Okay. Now, the height of the tongue. We discussed before that the airstream is coming up from the lungs, going through the oral cavity, and the position of the tongue taking the form of the front position, and the height of the tongue actually is low.
Yes.
Okay. So Can you say it again? So you say, ah.
Ah.
Can you feel the height of the tongue?
Yeah.
It's very low.
Very low.
Okay. So, do you have any question about producing the sound?
No.
Okay. Now, this is another challenging point for learning Arabic.
Yeah.
Especially for learning the first alphabet in Arabic. How can we write such alphabet? Alphabet written as a single stroke, drawn from top to down. Here is that. So, this is Aleph. Very simple line.
Yeah.
Don't focus more attention on Hamza, because we do have Hamza actually, but I don't want to discuss the Hamza notion now. We can discuss that later. But to write this sound, it's like that. Again. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just starting from the height, from top position to down position.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Can we do that here, from top to, from the bottom position to the top position? No.
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 Yeah.
When we write this alphabet in the initial position, so we have to start once again here. Can you see that?
Yeah, so it is from top down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when the Aleph follows another letter, it's written from bottom up. Oh. That's another different point.
Yeah.
Here is the main point for me. Let me just write, for example, any word, like, for example, lion, asad.
Asad.
I don't want to focus on such letters now. We have here one letter, and we have here another letter.
Yeah.
Can you see that? But this is not my point now. My point is here.
Yeah.
On this alphabet, can you see that? Okay, so we do have actually here in this word, we have 3 letters. Let me just write it again. Here is it. Asad, which means lion.
Lion, yeah.
Okay, so what we have here, a, and we have sa, we have dab. We did not discuss them, we're going to discuss them later, but here is the first alphabet, which is ab. Can you find this letter? So I'm writing that here in this way, not in this way. Okay? Anyway.
And I think this helps us write quickly. Okay.
Exactly.
It saves our time.
Exactly, Usama.
Okay.
I think that this is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
We're going to have a break, and after that, we will be right back.
خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. Learning how to recite the Quran properly, learning the meaning of what we recite, including the ahkam from the verses which we recite, trying to implement what we learn in our daily life. Would listen to the participants and the guests. We'll take your phone calls. We're going to recite live. We'll listen to your recitation and we'll correct it according to the rules and regulations which we'll state in each episode. Now your dream will come true.
إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again to our program. I think that we discussed how can we write the Arabic alphabet A, especially when it comes to initial position. So again, let me repeat it again. When I write this sound, actually this letter, it's not a sound. We are not writing sounds here, we are writing letters. It's coming from top to down here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see.
What's very important also to mention, that is, A, when it comes in initial position, it's always disconnected.
Yeah.
Do you still remember when we discussed before the characteristics of writing system in Arabic language?
Yeah.
Yeah. We discussed how can we write, or the notion of combining and connecting the letter together.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But on the other hand, you can find also some Arabic letters that could be disconnected
Yeah.
in various positions inside the word. So let me start first with A. Generally speaking, from linguistic perspective, A, when it comes in initial position, it's always disconnected. Okay? Let me just explain that to you. Here is it. If I would like to say, for example, ibn,
Yeah.
son. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Probably we have here 3 alphabets. A,
Ba.
Ba.
And na.
na. Right. Well, my job here is not in ba or na. My point is here. So A here, as you see, is disconnected letter. That means that it's not connected with the following one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just have another examples here. Aina, which means where. America, which means America, and so on. Well, this is the initial position.
Yeah.
But how about the medial position? Okay. Disconnecting state like walid, father, and sometimes it comes connected like talib, student. Well, let me just start with the first case, which is walid. Here is it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we have Arabic alphabet, which is wa.
Where? Yeah.
I don't care about wa now. And here we do have also 2 important Arabic alphabets.
Yeah.
La and da.
And da. Yeah.
So we say walid.
Yes.
Right, okay. But here, this is my point. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we say walid.
Walid. Yeah.
Repeat it again.
Walid.
Right, okay. So if you just have a look at this alphabet, you can find that it's not connected with the previous alphabet or with
Yeah.
the following one.
It stands disconnected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Usama, this is not the common rule for A when it comes in initial position.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes connected. Sometimes. Okay? Let me just have a look at this. Here is it. Talib.
Yeah.
By the way, A here is not connected with the following one, but it's connected with the
The
previous
first
one.
one, yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
And do you still remember when we discussed how can we write this alphabet? We start from top to down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But if it comes in initial position and connected with the previous or the following one, then we should start writing this alphabet from bottom to top.
Yeah.
In this way. Can you see that?
Yeah, so we start from bottom
Okay.
to the
From the
upper.
bottom
Yeah.
side to the top side.
To the top side.
Let me just repeat it once again. Here is it. Ta. This is another sound. We will discuss this later.
Yeah.
And here is A. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm connecting this alphabet with the previous one. And also we have another sound here, which is La and Ba. Well, that's another different story. I don't care about that now. Well, my focus on here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have
So-
here two disconnected alphabets.
Exactly, Usam.
Okay.
Exactly. It's just one alphabet.
Yeah.
And just one pronunciation. But when it comes to the style of writing, it's different. When it comes in initial position, it's from top to down.
Yeah.
But when it comes in the medial position, connected with the previous or the following one, we start from bottom to
top.
Okay? Do you have any question about that?
No.
Okay. Let's move on here to the following one, which is final position.
Final position.
This letter is always disconnected when it comes in the final position.
Yeah.
Would you tell me, please, is it connected or disconnected when it comes in initial position?
Yeah, it is connected to
Yep.
the previous,
Right.
but disconnected to it because it is final.
Okay.
So it is the last letter in
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, A, when it comes in the final position, is always connected. Let me just write to you here one example. I can write here, for example, the word Syria, which means in English, Syria. It's a country. Okay. So I would like just to repeat We have a lot of stuff here. Okay. So please focus on the style of writing here.
Yeah.
This is sa. Wa. Okay. Ra. Yeah. And this is my focus here. It's a.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
Yep.
from bottom to top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the conclusion here for writing the first alphabet in Arabic is that if it comes in initial position from top to the bottom,
Yeah.
top to down,
Yes.
when it comes in initial position, it depends. Sometimes from top to bottom, sometimes from bottom to the top side.
Yeah.
But when it comes in the final position, it's always connected and always written from the bottom side to the top
Yeah.
side.
Yes.
Any question about that?
Wow.
Okay. Now, 4 shapes for writing this letter. I think that this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Let me just repeat all the words that we discussed now. Ibn, Talib, Surya. Ibn, here is it. Talib, Surya.
Yeah. We have also Asad.
And we have also Asad. Yeah. Well,
Well, this is my name. Yes.
I know that.
Yeah,
Sam,
which
I
means
know.
in Arabic.
Yeah. Asad ibn Talib, Surya. Well, first of all, I would like you to repeat pronouncing these words again. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Asad,
Yep.
Ibn,
Yep.
Talib,
Okay.
Surya.
Talha.
أسد
Yep.
ابن طالب سوريا.
How about you, Mustafa?
أسد
Yep.
ابن طالب سوريا.
Muhammad.
أسد ابن طالب سوريا.
Okay. I think that this is very interesting.
Please, Ahmed.
Yep.
I have a question here.
Yes.
I have a point here in Asad.
Yep.
I see that there is here a linking hamza, or what we call in Arabic hamzat wasl.
Yeah.
But this is not the case in Ibn. It's a non-linking hamza
Right.
or hamzat qata
Right.
or hamzat wasl. So what
Yeah.
about this?
Well, first of all, Hamza sometimes comes with such alphabet, which is A.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not combined with this alphabet. How about, for example, if you write this word without Hamza, you can be understood, probably not completely. But here, we have also, well, thank you, Osama, for asking me this question, because actually we have here actually Hamza in this
Yes.
way. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Well, it's an opening circle, half circle, and comes down here.
Yeah.
So it's half of the circle in this way, Osama. Can you see that? And then we write another short line here.
So it's like a crescent and
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
in this way, actually.
Yes.
Okay. Like, for example, my name is Ahmed. Can you see that? Well, I don't focus about that.
Yeah.
Here's the main point.
Yes.
Okay. In some handwriting styles of Arabic, you probably cannot find such Hamza.
yeah.
And Hamza probably could be very close to the English vowel A. Can you see that? So we say Asad.
Asad.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have difference between A with Hamza and Ha without Hamza when it comes to the pronunciation? I think yes, we have. Because when you say A,
So there is much effort.
right. So when you put a Hamza on the alphabet as, we say A.
Yeah.
Stoppage happening here first. I think that we can discuss more about Hamza in the category of vowels.
Yeah.
But if you just write the alphabet without Hamza, well, that's okay. You will be completely understood.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so we have here Asad ibn Talib Surya. I just wrote the 4 words because here we have 4 shapes for writing this letter. This is probably the conclusion for how can we write the first alphabet in Arabic.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to write that once again, here is it. Can you see that? In initial position, please
Yeah.
focus
From
more attention on the
top
side of
down.
that. Here is it.
yeah.
Okay?
Well.
In Ibn, sure.
Yes.
Yes.
But here,
Down to up.
Yes.
can you find the difference in writing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we begin here from down to top.
Yep. So we have actual different shapes for writing A.
Yes.
You have any question about A, please ask me.
Oh, that's
Okay. So this is about A. Let me just move on here the following letter in Arabic. Do you know what's the following letter in Arabic?
Yeah, it's ba.
It's ba.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Is ba also the vowel in English?
Yeah, we do have two ba in English. We have pa and we have ba.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Let me just move on here to the slides, which is the second letter is ba. You said now something very important to note. Well, first of all, let me just say that unlike alif, this letter is connecting letter, which means that it connects with any letter following it in the same way. Okay. Well, first of all, how can I write this alphabet in Arabic?
Yeah.
I think that this is very interesting to know something like that.
Yes.
Of course, that we have in English, as the same as now, we have B and P,
Yeah.
or ba, and pa, pa. Can you see that? That is in English, right? I think so. Something like that. And of course, as most linguists know that there's a great difference between both
Yeah.
in English.
Yes.
And I think that such a difference actually is very remarkable in English. It's very noticeable to differentiate between P and B. I think we can discuss more about ba in Arabic in the following episodes. My dear viewers, thank you very much for joining us. We will discuss more about such alphabets in the following episodes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.